안녕하세요. 주연도도자매 램입니다. 오늘은 October Ogre 7, 8 챕터를 할 거예요. 그리고 our 특별 게스트를 짜잔! 바로 우리 연서입니다. 오늘은 특별 게스트라기엔 그냥 옆에서 있는 정도. 우리는 7살 차이가 난답니다. 엄청 귀엽죠? 이게 애착 옷이에요. 잠옷. 연수 잠옷. 이게 초록색이어서 그런지 연수도 초록색 중에서 초록색을 좋아하더라고요. 그래가지고 너무 귀엽죠? 연수 너무 부끄러운가 봐요. 요번에 새로 잘랐어요. 단발머리를. 근데 저는 이제 연서가 그거 이제 머리가 긴 것도 예쁜 것 같아요. 근데 이렇게 단발한 것도 약간 상콤달콤 발랄한 것 같아요. 자, 그럼 귀여워. 자, 그럼 우리 책을 읽어볼까요? 우후. October Ogre.
이거 뭐야? 보자. 다시 읽어보자.
연수 좀 보세요. 제 책이 어깨에 기대서 와 이거 뭐야? 하네요. 귀여워. 여기는 읽었죠? 읽고 여기서부터 Chapter 7. Where is Officer Felon? That's one of the weird noises, Nate said. Give me goosebumps, Officer Fallon said. They moved slowly forward. Watch out for the snake, Lucy said when they came to the snake tree. But it's only a rubber one. Officer Fallon tickled the snake's belly as he walked past it. Where's this zombie you told me about? He whispered. I don't know, Bradley said. We don't know where the witch and ghosts are either, Lucy said. Everyone is disappearing, Nate muttered. The green footprints led Dan to the couch. The fake fur blanket was still there, but it was neatly folded. The cowboy hat sat on the top of the blanket. This looks different, Bradley said. Who folded the blanket? Not me, Nate said. I never fold anything. Just ask my mother. I didn't do it either, Lucy said. Is this Luke's hat? Officer Fallon asked. Yes. Officer Fallon hitched up his pants. Take me to this ogre hat. They crept through the foggy mist to the black curtain. Lucy opened it at the crack. There it is, Nate said. He pointed at the giant ogre's head. Oh my gosh, Officer Fallon said. It sure is big. Come and see this, Nate said. He took Officer Fallon's hand and led him to the other opening in the curtain. He showed him the cauldron of bubbling water. It's a witch stew. Officer Fallon went right to the recipe. 3 small children, he said, goodness, do you think the witch wants to cook some kids? Yes. No, Lucy said. She put her hand on the pot. The water isn't even hot. Officer Fallon peeked into the pot. It's dry ice, he said. What's that? What's that? Bradley asked. Dry ice made from carbon dioxide instead of water. Officer Fallon said, when you drop it in warm water, the water and carbon dioxide make steam, like in this pot. The water bubbles, but it never gets hot. They all heard a voice. It sounded as if it came from underwater. The voice was moaning. Nate grabbed Bradley's arm. Lucy grabbed his other arm. 죄송합니다. Who is it? Nate whispered. Bradley gulped. He had heard that voice before. I think it's Brian, he whispered. How can you tell? It's just, Lucy asked. It's just a moaning sound. I know Brian's voice, Bradley said. It's the same as mine. Bradley made the same sound. See, we sound just alike, he said. Sometimes at night, Brian and I hide under our beds and make creepy noises to scare Josh. Yeah, I tried doing that once to scare Ruth Rose, Nate said, but she's not scared of anything. They heard the moan again. Did you hear that, Officer Fallon? Nate asked, but Officer Fallon was gone. Where is he? Lucy asked. He was right behind us. Well, he's not here now, Bradley said. They dashed back through the black curtain. The giant ogre head was still staring at them. The basket of candy was still inside the ogre's mouth, but Officer Fallon was nowhere to be seen. Bradley stepped on something that crinkled under his foot. He picked it up. It's a candy wrapper, he said. Here's another one, Nate said, grabbing a wrapper off the floor. They're the same as the candies in the ogre's basket. Bradley stared at the basket of candy. Officer Fallon loves candy, he said, but he would never throw the wrappers on the floor. He always picking up litter. Maybe he left the wrappers as clues, Lucy said. What good are clues? Asked Nate. The ogre got him, like he got Brian and Luke and those other kids. Oh my gosh! What do we do? Okay. Chapter 8. Evil Candy. I can't believe Officer Fallon just disappeared, Lucy said. He was standing right here 3 seconds ago. Maybe it's the candy, Nate said. You eat some and you disappear. Dink told me that if we stole candy from the ogre, we get a prize, Lucy said. Some prize, Nate mumbled. Eat it and you're gone. They all stared at the basket in the ogre's mouth. Bradley grinned at Nate. Why don't you take a candy and find out what happens? No way, Nate said. Why don't you take some, brave Bradley? Then Lucy and I will watch you disappear. Bradley shook his head. No, I have to stick around to protect you from the witches and zombies. I'm not taking candy either, Lucy said. But I have an idea. She parted the black curtain. I'll be right back. Then she was gone. Where's she going? Nate asked. Now there are only two of us. If you disappear, I'll be all alone in this creepy place. Don't worry, Bradley said. I'm not going to disappear. Nate peeked through the curtain crack. It's dark out there, he said. What if she... Suddenly, Nate shrieked and jumped back. Run for your life! He yelled. When Bradley turned, he saw a skeleton walking through the black curtain. The skeleton pointed a bony finger at Nate. Come with me, Nate Hathaway, the skeleton said. I'm your new best friend. Nate ran and hid behind Bradley. Bradley laughed. Okay, come on out, Lucy, he said. We know it's you. Lucy stepped out from behind the skeleton and laid it on the floor. It grinned up at them through yellow plastic teeth. Where'd you get it? Bradley asked. It was on Mr. Linklater's desk, remember? Lucy asked. Nate walked over to Lucy and the skeleton. Very funny, he said. Why did you drag it way over here? Mr. Skeleton is going to help us. Figure out what happened to Brian, Officer Fallon, and the other kids, Lucy said. How's he going to do that? Nate asked. He doesn't have a brain, Lucy. No, but I do, Lucy said. He pulled a ball of string and some scissors from a pocket. I borrowed this from Mr. Linklater's desk. What are they for? Nate asked. Maybe the skeleton can show us how everyone is disappearing, Lucy said. He cut a long piece of string from the ball. She tied one end of the string around the skeleton's left wrist. She tied the other end to his right wrist. Okay, pull on the string, Lucy said. Bradley and Nate tugged on the string, and the skeleton's arm lifted off the floor. Perfect, Lucy said. Now help me stand it up. Bradley and Lucy stood the skeleton on its feet. Move him over by the ogre, Lucy said. They stood the skeleton in front of the ogre's mouth. Okay, I'll hold him up. And you two make him reach for the candy, Lucy said. Now? Nate asked. I'm not getting near that candy. Just pull the string up so his hand touched the basket, Lucy explained. If I'm right, something should happen. Cool, Bradley said. like a skeleton puppet. Bradley and Nate lifted the string. The skeleton's bony hands moved forward. They touched the basket. Nothing happens. Now make him take some candy, Lucy said. Bradley and Nate pulled the string tighter. When the skeleton's hands landed on the candy, three things happened at once. The lights went out. They all heard a creaking noise. Bradley and Nate yelled as the string was yanked from their fingers. Ooh, skeleton puppet. Yeah. Okay. 이제 오늘의 동영상은 끝이 났고요. 다음 9 chapter 이제 마지막은 한 챕터밖에 없는데요. 그래서 좀 시간이 적게 걸릴 거예요. 그 다음에 또 이게 근데 좀 어려워서 좀 긴 게 어렵잖아요. 긴 게 어려워서 다음에 또 할지 모르겠네요. 뭐 할 수 있고 아니면은 다른 것도 짧은 거 뭐 베른스타인 베어스나 저번에 읽어줬던 베른스타인 베어스나 다른 것도 할 수 있고요. 그 다음 그리고 A to Z Mysteries 지금 제가 하고 있는데요. 뭔가 그게 약간 처음에는 좀 지루해요. 많이 지루해서 잘한 것 같아요. 근데 가다 보면 약간 좀 이제 풀 것 같은 그런 거 있잖아요. 왜 중간에 답답하다가 이제 약간 조금씩 사건의 실마리가 풀어질 때 그때 제일 흥미진진해요. 그때는 진짜 눈이 번뜩 뜨여가지고 정말 집중해서 보게 돼요. 그래서 뭐 그렇게 나쁘지도 않고 한 3점? 별로 치면 별 5점이라고 치면 별 3점? 3점 반 정도? 그 정도 되니까 뭐 그래도 좀 미스터리 제가 지금 읽어주고 있는 October Ogre이 재밌다면 뭐 다시 A to Z Mysteries 봐도 되고요. 뭐 그렇게 추천한 것까지는 아닌데 그래도 재밌습니다. 한번 보시길 권장해드려요. 그러면 오늘의 동영상은 여기서 마치겠습니다. 안녕.